Hello, everyone. Firstly, I want to welcome you all, the great ladies, today on our campaign, Black Excellence campaign. So, which is mainly about the personal stories and the interview of the great ladies. So, welcome everyone. I hope you all great. So, my name is Kiran Preet Kaur, and thank you for joining us today and being part of this inspiration initiative. So, before we begin, I would like to share a little bit about Women Without Walls, the organization who is presenting this campaign. So, the Black Excellence campaign at Women Without Walls, our mission is empower women and youth by providing resources, support, and a strong community to help them thrive in all aspects of their lives. We believe in creating a safe space where individuals can grow, share experiences, and overcome challenges together. Our mission is to create a world where women have the resources and support they need to build a future of independence and success. The Black Excellence campaign is an important part of this mission. It aims to highlight personal stories of empowerment and the strength that comes from overcoming adversity. By sharing these stories, we hope to inspire others and show the power of community. With that, let's start by having you introduce yourself and share a bit about your background and businesses. So, firstly, I will give the chance to Stacy Apples to introduce us.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, ladies. My name is Stacey Apple. I am 47 years old, and I am a master braider and an educator. And now I am also a braiding coach, trying to help people to bridge that gap and create multiple streams of income as well as passive income. Um, my background comes from like the corporate world. I've done several different things, but I found my passion in really just trying to help people. And we're in a time where I feel as though, we're in the right time to help people to be able to create that extra income that we all can use. So I'm very excited. My mission is to help as many people as I can to be able to generate that extra income, making their lives a lot easier. So this initiative has been really great. I'm so happy to be a part of it because I believe that we can reach more people and helping others. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So now I want Stacy Thomas to introduce her.
Okay, the two Stacys. Well, I'm not putting my age out there, but hello, everyone. My name is Stacey Thomas, and I am actually one of the national financial instructors for World System Builder. I'm a registered retirement analyst and a life insurance advisor. So I actually, was born in Canada. I went to school. I went to Ryerson. I went to school in the US as well. But you know what, Karen, through all of that, they did not give financial literacy, right? So when I became a part of this campaign, I realized the need. And it's so, so important, especially for women, because we are 9 times out of 10, we're the head and doing things in the household and we make all those financial decisions. So it's so important that we have the right information and we know what to do. And for my company, we're on a mission to educate 30 million people by 2030. And I really, really want to focus on Black women. And I'm so happy that we have this Black History Month that we can extend and International Women's Day coming up, that we're able to share our voice and communicate and get this information out to as many, many people as possible. We've done workshops in churches, we've done workshops with the deaf community, we've done workshops in schools. So I'm so, so happy that now we're starting to get financial literacy out to all those who need it.
Thank you so much, Stacy. So now I would like to give the chance to Shofan so to introduce herself.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. When Stacy reached out, of course, I was like, yeah, this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. I am a mortgage broker, financial life coach, and a community builder. And I'm super passionate about providing the education and the tools and the resources to our community so that they could advance themselves financially. Just like Stacy said, she's been through the entire system and never have they put a class about how to use your money, how to make your money work for you. And so because of that, I've seen firsthand through having my conversations with people who aspire to be real estate investors that they really have no knowledge about what they're actually doing with their money. We've been trained to just go to school, get a job, and then work and hope to retire, but never with the proper education that will help us to do so successfully. And so I'm super passionate, as I said, by providing education to the masses. But since having my own son, about he's 12 years old now, like he's 12, my business kind of morphed into a empowerment platform for moms. I am the founder of also the Mortgages for Moms community, where I really have the conversations that we need, not only for ourselves as mothers, but to pass that education on to our children because they are the future. And so if we don't provide them with that information, we're just going to have a cycle of destruction, I would call it. And so being here to empower women and moms with the financial literacy that they need in order to actually invest it and have their money working for them is what I am so passionate about doing. So thank you again for having me here.
Thank you so much. That is great. So now I would like to call us Mantha so that she can talk, give us information about herself.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much, Stacey, for this opportunity. I'm super happy to be here and to work with you all. My name's Samantha Crosley, and I'm the owner of Your Main Event. So I do wedding and event planning, and I've also recently opened up a sister company called Your Keep, and it's a Christian matchmaking services that I felt was well needed in the community and as a faith-based. I've been an entrepreneur for around 19 years now, mother of 5 children. I'm 50 years old. And I just found a way that I can balance home life as well as being an entrepreneur. And one of the things I wanted to say is that just to piggyback off what everyone else has been saying with all three ladies, is that, we were all told, got to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, etc. But I believe there was also a way that you can also earn multiple lines of income. And I learned that through culture and being well traveled. I got to understand that there's more, to having more freedom of life. And yes, one would be financially to be set free at a certain age in my life, and I wanted that for my children. Also to understand in how to help the community. So one, I do that through the event planning. Obviously brides. Even when it discover where they're buying their new home and having children, I think I play a role in that. As well as know that they can have the freedom of, even if they have their 9 to 5 job, to always have like a nice little side hustle to actually execute their way out in life, and as well as leave a legacy for their children. And one of the things I really found rewarding and what I've been doing over the years is giving back. So knowing that I have young ladies as well as men coming up in the community who are young and, trying to find a path where to go and to send them in a different directory, I wanted to do a master class. So that's one of the things I'll be doing in the summer, and engineering that just to make sure that they have a side hustle, as I mentioned before. So I'm just here to just, share my expertise as a mother as well as being an entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Like listening all the stories, making me strong now. That like great things I heard, and so now with that, I want to start. Like I want to know more about you. So I will start with your personal journey. So first question is, what life experiences have shaped who you are today, and how have those experiences influenced your journey? Shofun, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, so my life experiences. I am the eldest daughter of a single mom. When she had me, both her and my dad were just 15. And so I was born into the assumption that I was going to repeat that destructive process. And at a very young age, I decided that I didn't want to live life like that. And with that, I guess the story was being told for me. I was expected to repeat my mom's what they would see as a mistake. I knew that I was chosen. I was here not by accident. But I decided that I was going to do things a little differently than she did. As I said, we've been trained to go to school, get a job, and then, try to retire comfortably. But we've known that the economy has changed over the years. And I realized that there was going to be there had to be different ways that I would live life, earn money, make money that was going to give me something different than what I saw. And so I entered into real estate as a home buyer at the age of 23. And by entering into the industry, I was exposed to money in a way that I had never had in my home and that my mom didn't even know about. And so that really opened up my eyes to a different version of life. And that actually led me to entrepreneurship, where we know that with business, you set your tone, you set what the life that you desire, you set the income that you want to earn. And so between homeownership and real estate and being an entrepreneur, as I said, that has kind of curated the message, curated my role in society in trying to give people information that they're not privy to that can create a different life than what they've been designed to do. So I think that's where I'm at today.
Yes,
Hope that
that's
answered your
great.
question.
Yes, listening the story, about from you related to the school and then work, it is in everyone's mind. I think that same ritual, but that change you have chose, that is really amazing. Thank you. So now the next one is, throughout your life, what has been one of the hardest moment you have faced, and how did you manage to overcome it? Stacey Thomas, would you like to answer?
Sure. So sometimes it's hard to kind of share or reveal difficult times in your life, right? So for me, at the age of 29, that's when I all of a sudden knew about estate planning because my best friend, my father, suddenly died. So he passed away. He was just 63 years old. And what I realized is that, oh my goodness, like he is such a hard worker, just work, 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 work so hard all your life and then die. I'm like, there has to be something more. There's got to be more to life, right? So I was always in the back of my mind on a path thinking there's got to be more. And obviously, you know, who brought me through that process is only God, right? It's only the Lord. When I was able to discover more of my um, spiritual father, right? Of who my real father is, and that he was never going to leave me, which is God. And I was able to, get stronger from that, knowing that, he's always with me and that God was able to bring me through and able to be with me at all times. And at that time, I realized that, all of a sudden I had to be the money manager of the home and everything like that. But you know what, Karen, there was no money to manage, right? Because we go back into the same situation. Um, he didn't know how money works. He didn't understand, right? So things were not in place, right? So it was a difficult time. It was a struggling time for us as a family. And back then, it was like, I think SARS was going around 2003. So there wasn't any GoFundMe. There wasn't all that kind of stuff, right? Families just helped, just pitched in for the funeral. But you don't really understand the loss of also the head and the breadwinner of the family, right? Like it's a devastating thing that can happen to your family. And so for me, it's just it's all God. I give God all the glory for being able to, keep me right mind, right spirits, and to continue to press on.
Well, that's a really emotional story, and with that, that is empowering story, which tell us or guide us how to overcome and grow in that kind of situation. And the way you mentioned the God, that is really heart touching. Thank you so much. So now, Women Without Walls is all about supporting marginalized communities. Can you share a time when you felt empowered or supported by others and how that made a difference in your life? Samantha, would you like to answer?
Yeah, for sure. Can you share a time when you felt empowered? I definitely, over the years, I've been traveling a lot. One, personally, but also for business. And one of the things that really inspired me, I grew up in England, normal family, grew up with my parents, siblings, etc. Moving to Canada, I had no family. I was pretty much starting all over again, married and raising children in this brand new environment. Come to find out, North America very conservative, and to kind of build up again is it's a lot of work. It's hard, especially when you don't have your family support around you. You have to make new friends. You're in a new environment. You're not too sure what to expect. But what had happened was while I was catapulting and learning about my business as an event planner, I met people at hotels. I met people at events, social events, just growing and learning how they run their own business as entrepreneurs and those who had 9 to 5 jobs. Um, what really empowered me is that I saw these women from all walks of life in one room, and they made things work for them. They made business work for them, in terms of how to make extra money, how they worked in the community, how they volunteered, and it gave me a sense of hope that I can make it. I can do well. And so therefore I started reaching out to different types of community and different types of business, and just asking them, did they have a business plan? How did they grow? How did they mold themselves to become entrepreneurs? Um, some, and I know for some businesses, some it could take up to 5 years, and some people are lucky that they had their foot in the door and they got to know people straight away. So I felt empowered, one, to be in a room with different women of different calibers. It was just amazing. um, and it made a difference in my life because I can now show my kids that it can be done. You're not only me, my husband also, he's an entrepreneur. He has his own construction business. But we know that we don't have a 9 to 5 job. So we literally we have to make it. So when we have one day off and we don't get paid, we're going to make sure that the following day, how we're going to make it work. But again, it was just being empowered and seeing how people were evolving, working hard, and just making themselves known by through advertising and marketing. So that really empowered me over the years, and it just keeps getting better, and stuff. So yeah.
Yes, definitely. Like having a good mindset is very important. And we always like get some persons who motivate us, encourage us. But if we don't find anyone, it become very difficult sometimes. That is a really great story how others can impact, like make an impact on us. Thank you so much. So now, uh, were there any specific people, events, or beliefs that encouraged you to keep moving forward during tough times? Stacey Apple, would you like to answer?
Sure. Okay, so for me, it's a twofold. In terms of people, I've always surrounded myself with impactful people. I believe that the power of proximity is real. And oftentimes the people that you surround yourself with are the people or the things that you're going to pursue in that direction. So I feel it's very important to surround yourself with very positive people. I've always had positive people, in particular, like my mom, who herself was an entrepreneur. And, she taught me so many different things. One of which is, if you're going to do something, do it the best of your ability. And I think that's kind of transferred into my business, the service that I provide. And, my mission is to provide service with a spirit of excellence. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it very well. But also, it's a belief for me because I believe that God has imparted this seed in me, this gift, these talents. And although they're not for me, I'm now at a place whereby I can, pour into others. But I believe, and I keep um, standing on the belief that He has imparted this into me, and I have a responsibility to share it with others. And that is what really keeps me going, because there's a lot of time in my business where I don't feel like getting up, especially for entrepreneurs. We make our own time. And I work from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. And sometimes my husband even says, "You are the one making the schedule, right?" Whenever I'm complaining. But it's because I have that, that discipline, and I'm on a mission, and I know that this is my purpose. And when I'm walking in my purpose, I know that He's going to provide. I know that He's gonna, He will make way for me. And so for anybody, we really have to stand on the fact that when God has poured something into you, when you're walking in purpose, He will see you through. Okay, so that's what I depend on. Just the belief system that He's given it to me, and He's not going to fail me. He's going to see me through. So that's what keeps me going.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Even, uh, like there is always a thing in my mind, whatever I'm doing, God is seeing me and I will get the result of that. Like it will take time or maybe not on that situation, but definitely I will get. So that is a belief in me which make me like do the more and more work. So yes, you are saying like that is I can say that related to every person's life. So thank you so much. So now I would like to move with your personal growth and empowerment. I would like to know more about that thing. So I want to start with Samantha. So how have you used your personal challenges and experiences to empower others or inspire change in your community?
My personal challenges and experiences. Um, how I've kind of inspired people, as I mentioned earlier on, doing master classes. So, having the expertise in my business for a couple of years now, I learned how to master, when it comes to decorating, walking into a blank canvas and transforming a room, doing event planning. So, working with clients, like if they're not having their event or their wedding for a year in advance, I get to sit down with them, understand their vision, the type of things that they're looking for, if they have a theme, etc. And um, I did, well, let me backtrack actually when it comes to like some of the personal challenges. Sometimes, as much as you're an expert in what you do, you now have to make your clients believe that you can execute that. And even if they're themselves being experts, very organized and they understand what they want for their big day, the challenge may come where the vision that you have might not fall in line with them. And you have to kind of rectify and find out, ways to make sure that they understand that you're good at executing the work. And even the end results, even when the work has been done and they're probably not, this is not exactly what we're looking for, you know, um, and we could have done things differently. So sometimes it can be a personal challenge because now you're saying to yourself, did I do as well as I was meant to do, etc. But you go away and you learn and you grow, right, after doing different events, etc. But how I've inspired other people, again with the growth of the work that I've been doing over the years, I understood that when people come to me, I can work with the challenges that I had in the past, and finding different ways, and working with people who have been in the same field as us and they might have a different perspective on how to do the actual job, So it's good that you got that to bounce off, But what I really love is having the master classes, right? I love when I've had students of who's come to me, they've done internship with me, and it's really nice that they come down and they want to learn from me, right? They've seen what I've done, they love the work, and I can sit down and kind of go through any mistake that they could have made, and how that can be rectified, and just kind of lining things like what they can do in their business, whether it's to help them do a business plan, um, inspire them to look at other aspects of the jobs that I've done, and just teach them. Just be, you want to be coachable, right? So, and that's one of the things that kind of really inspired me to do that. And the change in the community. So I've learned to work with different cultures, right? So over the years, I've had to work with Jewish culture, Sikhism, Hinduism, um, as a Christian, you know, it's been good because it broadens your horizon in terms of like, oh my goodness, you know, you get to think outside the box, right? So I love that I can work in the community. So we get to volunteer at certain places. I've become one of the sponsorship for like major wedding shows, like the National Bridal Show. I've got to be like a preferred vendor for like different golf clubs, you know. So I kind of inspire people that way.
Okay, that's great. Well, so much.
Well,
So, Shofan, I want to ask, at Women Without Walls, we believe in lifting each other up. Can you tell us about a time when you found strength in connecting with others and how that helped you grow?
Oh, yeah, I would say that season is pretty fresh. I can tell you right now. So I've been an entrepreneur for almost 25 years. I know I look like I'm 16, but almost 25 years. And in my role as a mortgage broker, which is what I've been doing the longest, I am independent. So although I'm a part of a company, I'm a business for myself, right? So, and I'm also an introvert. I like to be by myself. And then we had the pandemic where being by yourself was mandatory. Like I couldn't go anywhere, but I also didn't have the option to connect with anyone. And so I realized like it was very lonely. It became very lonely. And so post pandemic, now we're coming back out. As I said, I'm still very introverted. Um, I felt a need to connect with other people. And the Lord laid on me to reach out to people, right? If you come to me for business, great, but for me to like approach people who I'm not familiar with, doesn't happen very often. But he laid on my heart that I needed to do more. I needed to connect with people. And so I launched a podcast a couple years ago. And what that did, it caused me to look for people, look for women. It was for women entrepreneurs, look for women that I could relate to, that looked like me, that we had similar interests and aspirations, and to reach out and invite them to be on my show. And through that, I met some amazing, I had 20 episodes. I met some amazing entrepreneur women, local and abroad, and started building relationships, which is something I've never ever done in my business career. And through those interviews, I connected with one in particular, and we've become business accountability partners, business besties. But then also that because we share the same vision in terms of business and entrepreneurship and helping women, we've not only helped each other to grow as individuals, but as business owners. We've expanded and we've now launched our own community of women entrepreneurs who come together. So it's helped me personally not only to overcome like just, being accustomed to doing business by myself. I now have a partner, which I've never had before, which requires a different level of entrepreneurship. So it's no longer just me making the decisions. I'm having now to practice my communication skills. I'm having to practice, even sharing business because now in our community, they're all entrepreneur women at different stages. People have strengths, have weaknesses. People have resources that they've encountered all throughout their years. Then there's others who will need it. So it's just really being able to stand up in a role of leadership as well, right? So leading these women, not in their particular business, but becoming the best business person, business woman, by connecting all those pieces, networking, collaborating, communicating, pitching your business, marketing, all of those conversations that I wasn't necessarily having with other people. But now that I've learned how to, one, have a partner, build a relationship, be proactive with it, and also now building the community.
Thank you so much. That is great. So now, Stacy Apple, how do you incorporate the values of empowerment and sport in your everyday life or in the work you do?
Oh, that's a good one. So, as an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years as well, I have since launched my educational part aspect of my business, where I now teach the younger kids between 8 and 13 for free how to braid and how to learn the art. And I also teach people who are wanting to get into the industry how they can do so. So that's my way of just empowering the next generation per se. But also, I'd want to touch a little bit about in my business, just speaking life into people. I come across so many people day in, day out who are going through struggles. They come, they sit in my chair, they pour their heart out to me. And so it's so important for me to, treat them with care and empower them so they can go out and be the best version of themselves when they leave my chair. Right. So just speaking life into people, there's a lot of hurted people out there. There's a lot of struggle, the economy, life itself. And so when people come to me, I want to make sure that they leave empowered, they feel confident so they can go out and do whatever it is they do in their industry with confidence.
Well, that's great. So, is there like anything you face like it become hard to teach or the student who like want to learn but stubborn, like something you faced that kind of thing in your life?
Um, I feel like you have to be coachable. You're always going to come across that difficult person that maybe they come with their own preset notions. And so for me, it's very important. And over the years, I've learned to kind of listen to understand opposed to listen to respond. And so usually it's not even about the learning. If they come and they have an attitude or if they're reluctant, there's something else going on. So over the years, I've also learned a lot about myself, as in, being an active listener, pretty much just trying to figure out what's really going on under the disobedience. Right. And so I'm usually okay to pick up on certain things. I'm usually okay to kind of take a step back, let them lead a little bit so I can learn what's happening. And then I kind of go in with a different approach. I'm yet to find someone that I'm teaching that I wasn't able to figure out what's their challenge, what's their limitation, and be able to kind of tackle it from different aspects so that we can get to the same ultimate results. So I'm learning myself as it relates to personalities, or I can make sure that we're all winning at the end of the day.
Well, that's great. The strategy of stepping back and do more good, that is really great. So thank you.
Thank
So
you.
yes. So now I would like to know more about the inspiration and the impacts you make. So my first question is from Siofan. So what message do you want to share with others who may be facing similar struggles, particularly women, single parents in challenging circumstances?
Mm. Um, I think for a large part of our community right now, our biggest struggle is in the financial area. And not having enough or not being able to do the things that you desire has a ripple effect. I know the Bible says money answereth all things, right? But the world says, oh, money isn't everything, but we need money to actually survive and to live, right? And so I also think that we have a mindset of just that survival, like having money to pay your bills and having money to, provide shelter is great, but there's more to life than that. And having adequate finances can create or help you to create a life where you can be more free, be more comfortable, be able to provide, be able to give, right? Be able to do more than what you think you should be doing. And so, what I would say to someone is look for more, right? Don't be okay with just where you're at. Don't settle. Like there's always more for you to go out and get. And a lot of us don't believe that that's possible. So what would you do? What should you do? You should connect with somebody who you see is doing something that you may aspire to do. Sometimes we try to do things all by ourselves. And this is why, I think in this phase of my life, the Lord literally has me focused on community and imparting that information to others. We do not have to live life alone. Everyone has a similar struggle. And of course, you know, they're personal things you want to keep to your chest and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's no experience that you're experiencing that someone else has not experienced. And so because they've gone through it, you can learn from them. You can get wisdom, get ideas, you can get suggestions, you can be connected with resources. So you do not have to live life alone, and don't be afraid to ask someone for help because help is out there. So that's what I would say. Encourage you, like, if the life that you have right now, if there's more that you want, then you'll have to tap into someone else to help you get there.
Yes, like balancing all the things and giving the like seed, or I can say that other ones about like our thing is very like essential, we can say that, and sometimes it become hard. Like there, I have met a lot of people for whom it is very hard to ask for the help and managing that thing. So that is a great example you have given. Thank you. So now the Stacy Thomas. I would like to ask, how do you think sharing your story in the Black Excellence campaign align with the mission of Women Without Walls and can inspire others to take action in their own lives?
Okay, thank you, Karen. So, in terms of sharing my personal story, and actually all the ladies here um, a part of this Black Excellence experience for Black History Month, I think that it really aligns with Women Without Walls um, vision because they would like to empower women, right? And I think that representation is key for our youth and for our young Black girls to see, you know, to see us doing it, to see us working, to see us successful, to see us trying, to see us fail, to share the stories. I think that that is very inspirational, and to see us all coming together like a unity, right? Just off the top of my head, this is some of my circle, right? My Black Christian community. This is some of my circle, and I am inspired by each individual here as well. So I think collaborating and working together, you can go a lot further, right? Within our community, we can make a stronger impact. We're better together. So I think that it definitely aligns with Women Without Walls because they're all about empowering women. So yeah.
Yes, that is really related to the Women Without Walls and for the empowerment. That is really great. So now, uh, what would you say to someone who feels like their voice doesn't matter? How can they find the courage to share the story? Samantha, would you like to answer that?
Yeah. What would I say to someone? I'm going to give an example for myself, and I'm going to be very frank and honest. When I started my business, it was flourishing. Like I was just very lucky to meet people, and they were hiring me. I got phone calls and emails, and to the point that I had like, I want to say the most, maybe in one weekend, I would have like 6 or 7 events. No problem, all executed well, had great feedback. And again, I'm gonna have to use the example of COVID. When COVID hit, I felt that was it. So with my particular line of work, there was no online, there was no there was nothing. Everything was closed. There was no bookings. As a matter of fact, a lot of clients um, were asking for their deposits back, because they didn't know financially how they were going to make it. So I came to a stage where I thought now my voice wasn't being heard because when everything opened back up, and now you had all these young entrepreneurs coming out from the woodwork, they were learning new skills, and it was a good thing. It was a good thing, and they, like students coming out of college and they were getting these jobs that we worked so hard for, and immediately they were getting hired because now to get their voice heard, they were willing to take cuts in pay. They're willing to volunteer, work overtime, right? So here I am with all the experience who's been out in the field. Like I was reaching out to companies that I worked with for years, and they were like, "Oh, we're okay. We have somebody." Um, and I was ending up emailing people, and literally now I felt that my voice wasn't heard. What do I do? Maybe it was my season was done in the event planning. Maybe God wanted me to do something else. I was trying to really find a niche and a way out. However, I pivoted that and found another way that, okay, I'm going to get my voice out there. I'm going to get back on the page. I'm going to get everyone to recognize, what I'm good at. But what I can say to somebody whose voice has definitely not been heard is to always continue to reach out. There's going to be somebody who's going to recognize who you are, and being able to establish what you're really good at. And whether that be through, again, networking, and like Stacey said, like for us ladies here, being in this circle, you're gonna find someone in that circle who knows somebody in the industry, that can pitch, and always find someone like Siobhan mentioned about having accountability. I didn't really have an accountability. I was kind of doing everything myself. I had staff that would work for me, but I would pivot off them. They had ideas, I would go to them. They were good at certain things. So I would definitely say that, always reach out to somebody. There's always going to be someone on the other end who's ready to receive you in that aspect. How can I find the courage to share the story? So what I'm doing, as very much, I'm very much outgoing, love people. However, I didn't really have the courage to be in front of, like, even a simpler Zoom meeting like this. I'm not really good at speaking in that way, but I found a way that I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna get my voice out, and I got encouragement from those who do social media, who's on the platform, who loves being in front of the camera, and just kind of piggybacking off them and seeing how it works for them. So that's one of the ways I can say that it's been encouraging for me.
Well, that is a very inspiring story for everyone, not like even for me who is just starting her career. So, thank you so much for sharing that. So, now looking ahead, what are your personal goals and how do you hope to continue empowering yourself and others through initiatives like Women Without Walls? Stacey Thomas, what do you think about that?
Okay, so for myself personally, like I take on my career like this is my money ministry, right? So like Siobhan said earlier, like money is not everything, but you need money for everything, right? So at the end of the day, get sick, you need money. Want to retire, you need money, right? So my mission is to get the information out to our community, as many people as possible, so that they can understand how money works and to help them in their future, even for ourselves as Black business women and entrepreneurs. Once again, it boils down to we need to make sure that our money's right? So we got to get that bag and we got to be a blessing. Like when we're blessed, we can bless others as well. So I think that um, for aligning it with Women Without Walls is just the same situation as being able to communicate and share the information as much as possible, and connecting with others. I would say so. In terms of future goals, it's just to continue to get the word out and to educate as many people as possible, which I'm so happy that I didn't even realize it, but we all have that kind of string together of education, right? Each and every one is doing something, being it mentoring someone else, master classes, giving back to the next community. So we're at that stage in our life where we can give back. So I think that is something great that we can continue to do for future goals in empowering young women to be business entrepreneurs as well.
Uh, Thank you so much. That is like really great and connected. So now, I want to ask from all of you, like if you could offer one piece of advice to someone on their own journey toward empowerment and self-discovery, what would it be? So, Stacey Thomas, would you like to start?
Oh, I just finished. So, okay. So, one piece of advice, I would say, believe in yourself, right? You can do it. I would say stretch your vision, stretch your mind. I can't remember who said it before, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? I think that we have to make sure that we get out of those limiting beliefs, right? The mindset. A lot of well, it all starts in the mind, right? You want to have a positive mindset. You want to have that millionaire mindset so that you can grow and have a growth mindset. You might be comfortable where you are, your bills are getting paid, you're okay, but what about that other person that doesn't have? Right? So it's the same thing I come back to. If you're able to do for others and you're able to be blessed, then you can bless others. So I would say my one thing is definitely believe in yourself and that God has your back, right? God got you. So whatever it is that you put your mind to and you have your heart is in it, you will be successful.
Mhm.
Now, one, would you like to answer?
Yeah, I would say never stop being a student. Life is the greatest classroom, right? And so a lot of I know for myself, after I finished college, I was like, oh, I'm done with school. But what I learned in college is not applicable to what I need in order to live life today, and let alone live life successfully. So always be a student. Always understand that you should be always thriving to learn more. Develop yourself personally. If you're in a profession, obviously you want to develop yourself professionally. But look, we're in a time where we see like technology is changing things at rapid paces, right? And so what you knew last week is probably not relevant this week. So always put yourself in a place and space to learn and to grow intellectually, mentally, physically, spiritually. Always learn to invest in yourself so that you can become the best version of yourself every single season of your life.
Thank you. Yes, learning at any like age is very important on daily basis. We learn lot of things, not from our only from our teachers, elders, even sometimes from children, our students. So that is like really great. So now, Samantha, how would you like to answer?
I would say that life has no limits. Um, and I'm speaking on my from my perspective. I'm very much a risk taker. Not everyone is a risk taker, but there's some risks that you probably have to take in life in order for you to grow, right? And sometimes we do fall down, we make mistakes, but I definitely believe it will make you stronger, especially helping you align with what you want to do, and explore. Just there's so much avenues to explore, um, as Siobhan mentioned, like the vast amount of technology that we have is unbelievable. There's so many courses, there's so many apps. But I'm very old school. I as much as there's new technology, um, there's there's so many tools out there, but I still believe, like, you get sometimes, I don't know for everyone else, in terms like you'll get a high school professor, who probably served in the war or something, but the knowledge that they have. So when it comes to us as human beings, there's always someone that you should, you know, can hold you accountable, right? And that will show you the old ropes, and um, as well as yes, you do need technology, but I really do believe that you should have a mentor, a real good mentor that you can sit down and have a one-to-one you feel comfortable with. So that's kind of my piece of advice. Like, there's no limits to what you can do.
Yes, definitely. Like life is like continuous. So with that, we also have to be. So now, Stacy Apple,
Thank
please.
you. Siobhan took the words right out of my mouth. So we're just gonna piggyback off of what she said. So yeah, life is not a race, it's a journey. I think that you should along with investing in yourself, finding a life coach or finding someone that's been where you are, but also someone that you want to be where they are so they can help you to get there faster because they've also gone through the failures. They'll save you time and failures, okay? But also along the way, give yourself a little bit of grace. I think we're under so much of pressure and it is so hard. Technology is advancing. So for me, I try to encourage my students, do some self-assessment. Try to learn that extra skills. The Bible talks about several streams of income. Get seven, if possible, get eight. One is not cutting it anymore. We know this. Find something that you can do with your hands. That way it's recession proof, it's COVID proof, and it's AI proof, guys. Right? Because it is happening. And like Siobhan said, we have to be a consummate student, student for life, because we really need to be learning 5 new skills almost every month to be able to keep up. But along that, give yourself some grace,
Mhm.
seek his face and his guidance, and all will be well.
That is really great. Like the advice you have all given is like really inspiring and give me the different ideas I'm building. So I could think in that way. That is really amazing. So like how it is encouraging me, definitely it will encourage each and every woman and everyone. So thank you so much. Like you have given us such great knowledge of the life experiences, personal, professional, in every way. That is very inspiring. Thank you. So thank you for sharing incredible story with us, and journey is truly inspiring. We are honored to have you as part of Black February campaign. We hope your story continue to motivate others as they find strength in other lives, in our lives. So thank you so much. Really great meeting you. I'm really enjoying that conversation. I don't want to end this. I want to ask more and more questions, but I think for today that is enough. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank
You
you,
for
Karen.
Meeting you.